I'm Carla from Fiction Profits Academy, and what you're about to learn took me from being a broke yoga teacher drowning in debt to building a multiple six-figure publishing business. And we've taught over 15,000 people this exact system. And some of them are making more money than traditionally published authors, and they started knowing absolutely nothing about publishing. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to go from a complete beginner to making your first dollar on Amazon KDP. Every single step, no fluff, no theory, just what actually works. And the best part is, you don't even have to be a writer. You don't need any special skills. You just need to follow the process that I'm about to show you, starting with the first step, picking profitable niches. Most beginners waste months on books that will never sell because they pick niches based on what they like instead of what makes money. I learned this the hard way. When I started, I published a few nonfiction books because I thought that was the way to go. They made a little bit of money, but I just knew there had to be something bigger. So I started studying the bestsellers, and I saw that fiction books were selling really well, and specifically romance books. They were at the top of the charts. So I switched to romance, and that's when things really took off. So you see, picking the wrong niche is the fastest way to fail. Even with AI making book creation practically free, you still need to know what sells. So let me show you exactly how to select your niche the smart way. Choose from proven profitable niches. First, forget about what you're passionate about. I know that sounds harsh, but Roy, my business partner, always says doing what you love is a myth. You can come to love whatever you do when it's profitable. And he's right. Once those royalty checks start coming in, you'll fall in love with what you're doing really quick. So what niches actually work? Based on our data from thousands of students, romance dominates everything. Contemporary romance, paranormal romance, mafia romance, billionaire romance. The romance niche, it rocks because romance readers are like Netflix bingers on steroids. They read a new novel every single night. Some even read two every single night. They buy entire series, they follow authors religiously, and they have emotional connections with characters that would make soap opera fans look like amateurs. Mystery works too, but it's a little bit different. Cozy mystery is the sweet spot for beginner publishers. Psychological thrillers can work, but they often need better writing. And true crime mystery, they have rabid fans there too. Number two, you need to know if a niche will make money, and you need to use Amazon's data to validate profitability before you start. So go to Amazon's Kindle store, navigate to your potential category. Now look at two numbers. Book number 1 should have a bestseller rank or BSR of around 500 or better. Book number 100 should have a BSR around 10,000. BSR or bestseller rank is how Amazon ranks every book based on sales. So the lower the number, the better your book is selling. So a BSR of 500 means you're the 500th best-selling book in that category. If those numbers check out, you've found a gold mine. If book number 100 in the category is ranked 200,000, run. That means there aren't enough readers there to sustain your business. And number 3, the key is to only focus on niches with built-in marketing advantages. So romance and mystery, they have something special. There's established trope systems that readers actively search for. They literally type in billionaire boss romance into Amazon. They're telling you exactly what they want to buy. These genres also have active newsletter swap groups. Newsletter swapping is when other authors with similar audiences promote your book to their readers in exchange for you promoting theirs. You scratch their back, they scratch yours. It's a form of free marketing that you could take advantage of from day one. To do your research, go to Amazon's Kindle store and navigate it to books and to the romance or mystery categories. Look at the top 100 bestsellers, screenshot the patterns that you see in covers, titles, and descriptions. This is your market research, and it takes as little as 5 to 10 minutes. And once you've picked your profitable niche, you need the secret weapon that makes books impossible to ignore. So step 2, make your books irresistible. This is where we separate the winners from everyone struggling to get noticed. Tropes are the #1 reason our students outperform most traditionally published authors 10 to 1. But most people have never even heard of them. Put simply, a trope is any intriguing plot element, characteristic, or story theme that makes readers desperate to buy. So think of them as reader candy. Once they see their favorite trope, they can't help but buy with one click. And theme-based tropes create irresistible scenarios because these are situations that readers fantasize about. And popular examples in the romance niche are girl next door falls in love with her neighbor, or businessman hires a new assistant and they fall in love, or a down on her luck FBI agent finally solves a decade-old murder. So each one triggers an emotional response, and readers see it and think, I need to know how this plays out. So character-based tropes tap into fantasies. And some popular examples of these are sexy fireman, or billionaire boss, or handsome but socially awkward nerd. Don't think of these as just character descriptions. They're emotional triggers that readers actively search for on Amazon. Someone literally types single dad romance into the search bar, and if your book has that trope in it and it's in your title and your keywords, boom, you just got found. But what if you don't just use one trope? What if you stack them like a sandwich? This is where it can get really powerful. So some real examples of trope stacks that are crushing it are secret babies for the mafia doctor, which is secret baby and mafia and doctor, or one bossy proposal, which has boss and fake engagement, or grumpy billionaire's nanny. There's grumpy plus billionaire plus nanny plus single dad is implied there too. So the more relevant tropes you include, the more reader searches that you capture. It's like casting multiple fishing lines instead of one. So here's your homework. Open a document, study the 20 bestsellers in your chosen niche. Write down every trope that you see repeated, and you'll start noticing patterns. Fake dating, enemies to lovers, second chance, forced proximity. Pick 6 of those tropes that work together for your book concept. That's your trope stack. Now that you've got your niche and you've got your trope stack, it's time to get the book written. But here's the part that surprises most people. They think that they have to become writers. Wrong. Step 3 is to hire ghostwriters. Successful publishers think like business owners. I've never written a single book in my publishing business, not one. The key is finding skilled ghostwriters who understand your niche and can deliver work consistently. But most people hire the wrong ones and they waste thousands. But here at FPA, we use Upwork and we've perfected the hiring process. And here's how. Never copy and paste generic job posts. Upwork will suspend your account. So instead, create a personalized posting that includes a clear statement that you're building a long-term business, specific genre requirements, proof that you're serious, so mention that you follow a proven system, and you want to have the payment structure clearly outlined. Next, you want to ask screening questions to filter out the amateurs. Questions like, how many 50,000 word novels have you completed in whatever your genre is? Describe your plotting method. Do you read books in your genre that you write? If they've written less than 4 full novels, move on. If they can't explain their plotting method clearly, move on. If they don't read in your genre, definitely move on. Third, you want to use a milestone-based payment method to minimize risk. So never ever pay for an entire book up front. That's how beginners get burned. Instead, start with a test. So start with a 250-word summary, a chapter-by-chapter outline, and the first 500 words of chapter 1. And pay in 10,000-word increments. And only release payment after reviewing each milestone. Our coaches and students consistently find writers at just 1 cent per word. So that's $250 for a 25,000-word book. One coach generated substantial profit in her first 2 months with books that cost $350 total to produce, including editing and covers. So to find your writers, look for these green flags. They mention specific books they've written, they understand genre conventions, they ask questions about your tropes and your target audience, and they're comfortable with revision requests. Some red flags to avoid are they say ridiculous claims like, I can write anything. They can't. They can't show any samples in your genre, or they get defensive about revision requests, or they can't explain their process. So to get started, set up your Upwork account today. Write your job posting in your own words, following the framework that I described earlier, and make sure you ask 3 to 5 screening questions. Now, alternatively, you could have AI write your entire book, but that's a topic for another video. Once you have your book written, whether it's through ghostwriters or AI, you need to package it so that it leaps off Amazon's digital shelves. Step 4, create covers and titles that compel people to click. Your book cover has exactly 3 seconds to grab attention before readers scroll past forever. Even the best book with perfect tropes will fail if the cover and title don't immediately communicate its appeal. That's why your covers must match the current bestseller trends. So to do this, you need to study the top 100 covers in your category right now, not last year's, right now, because what worked 6 months ago already looks dated. You want to model their color palettes. Are they dark and moody? Are they bright and fun? The font styles, are they script, bold, serif? And the image styles, are they illustrated, photorealistic, are they abstract? And what's the overall vibe? Steamy, mysterious, or sweet? One common beginner mistake that kills sales is using generic stock photos or DIY covers. Readers have been trained by millions of books to recognize quality instantly. So an amateur cover, it signals amateur content, even if your content is actually a page turner. So invest at least $20 to $30, maybe $50 in a proper cover. Our students use designers on Upwork or websites that specialize in book covers. And when you hire designers, give them 3 to 5 best-selling covers as reference and say, I want this vibe, but unique to my book. And when it comes to titles, they should pack maximum emotional impact. Your title needs to include 1 to 2 major tropes, and they should create curiosity or tension, and also be short enough to read in thumbnail size. So some title examples that work are How to Kiss Your Grumpy Boss. There's a grumpy trope, boss trope, and there's tension. The Billionaire Secret Baby. There's billionaire and secret baby, and there's drama. Fake dating the single dad. There's fake dating and single dad, and there's a clear premise. So notice how each title tells you exactly what you're getting. No confusion, no cleverness, just clear trope communication. And if you're not sure if it'll work, here's a simple test that you can do. Show your cover and title to someone for 3 seconds, then take it away. And test if they can tell you what genre it is, what is the main trope, who is the target reader. And if they can't answer all 3, then you need to go back to the drawing board. So here's what I want you to do. Create a Pinterest board or a folder with your niche's top 100 covers. Study them for 10 minutes. Take note of the patterns that you see. Then create 3 to 5 title options using your trope combinations. And get feedback from potential readers. Facebook groups are great for this before finalizing. With your book properly packaged, it's time to get it live and make money. This is where you become an official publisher and start receiving royalty payments. So step 5, set up your KDP. The difference between a book that sells and one that sits invisible forever comes down to optimization. So to set up your KDP account, first go to kdp.amazon.com, then sign up with your existing Amazon account. Add your bank information, this is where the royalties go, and add tax information. It's an SSN for individuals or an EIN if you have an LLC. Congratulations, you're now officially a publisher, but we're just getting started. Now you need to make sure readers can easily find your book in the first place. And this is where mastering Amazon's keyword system comes in. Keywords are how your readers find your book. Mess this up, and you're invisible. Amazon gives you 7 keyword strings, each up to 50 characters, and here's how to use them. There's the drop-down method. Go to Amazon's Kindle store, start typing your main trope like billionaire. Look at what Amazon auto-suggests. These are exactly what readers search for. For example, if I type billionaire, we see these come up. Billionaire romance, billionaire boss, billionaire grumpy, billionaire CEO. Take these suggestions and build keyword strings. Never repeat words within a single string. So never use forbidden words either, like free or bestseller. Next, you want to choose categories strategically. You can be in up to 10 categories, but Amazon only lets you pick 3 initially. This is why you need to choose categories strategically. So pick categories where you can realistically reach the top 100 books similar to yours that are already succeeding. The competition isn't impossibly fierce. One pro tip for you, find successful self-published books like yours, look at their categories, so scroll down to the product details, then copy their category strategy. And speaking of pro tips, there's one secret weapon that most beginners skip. It's called Author Central. Author Central, it creates your dedicated author page. It lets readers follow you for automatic news release notifications and provides analytics to track your performance. It also helps you build legitimacy and trust. It takes 10 minutes to fill in and can potentially double your sales long term. So take the time to set it up. So to recap, here's what you need to do. Don't just set up KDP and forget it. Spend an hour researching keywords using the drop-down method. Find 3 winnable categories by analyzing successful books and copying their categories. You want to avoid overcrowded categories where new books get buried immediately. And set up Author Central immediately. These small optimizations compound into massive advantages. So by this point, your book is now live. The next step determines whether it succeeds or disappears. That's step 6, create instant momentum and long-term success. In KDP, there's what we call a judgment day. This is when your book goes live and Amazon's algorithm decides if it's worth promoting. The first 7 days are everything. Get this right, and Amazon will push your book to thousands of readers for free. Get it wrong, and your book disappears into the void with millions of others. Before I show you what works, let me save you from doing what doesn't. Mistake number one, launching to crickets. Don't publish your book and then just hope that Amazon will magically promote it. That's not how the algorithm works. It needs to see signals, traffic, sales, and engagement. Mistake number two, spending big money on ads too early. So I've seen beginners blow $500 on Facebook ads for their first book launch with no back catalog, no audience, no idea what they're doing. That's just donating money to Mark Zuckerberg. Mistake number three, pricing too high out of the gate. I understand that you want to charge $4.99 because you want to make more money per sale. But if nobody buys, you make zero. This is why we recommend you price your book for momentum at first. Then once you gain some traction, you can price for profit. I'll break down our specific strategy behind this in a minute. So those are the top mistakes to avoid. Now let's move on to what actually to do, starting with how to build your foundation before launching. You need 1,500 to 2,000 email subscribers before launching your first real book. This isn't optional. We recommend this number because at this list size, other authors will swap newsletter promotions with you. It's like having an army of promoters ready to go. Use a lead magnet or a free book to give away to build this list. Run group promos. This could take time, but this is key. And once you have a sizable list, you can start doing newsletter swaps. Newsletter swaps are how books with zero marketing budget hit bestseller lists. So newsletter swaps, they're simple. You promote another author's book to your list and they promote yours to theirs. And this is how you get free traffic from exactly the right readers. Now you're probably thinking, but Carla, how do I find other email list owners? No worries, there's a platform called BookClicker. You want to use this to book 4 or more newsletter swaps per day for your first 7 days of launching your book. That's 28 promotions minimum. And there are different types of swaps you can do. First, there's solo swaps, and this is when your book is the only one featured in the newsletter. Then there's feature swaps where your book is featured first. And then there's mention swaps where your book is mentioned along with many others. And we recommend you avoid mention swaps initially because they're less effective. When it comes to pricing, there's a specific strategy we recommend for maximum traction. And it's as simple as launching at 99 cents for your first 30 days. I know you want to make $2.70 per sale instead of 35 cents. But think about it. At 99 cents, more readers take a chance, so you have higher sales volume, which leads to better rankings. And when this happens, Amazon promotes your book more. And you get more borrows through Kindle Unlimited, where you get paid for every page read instead of a flat unit royalty. And this is actually where the majority of royalties come from for our students. And this is how you build an audience way faster. After 30 days, you can raise to $2.99 to $3.99. And by this time, some readers already know you. They are now fans, so they're more likely to buy your next book at full price. Now let's talk about how to create a publishing pipeline for sustained success. The reality is that one book won't make you rich, but a catalog will. The magic happens when you're publishing consistently. And this is why we recommend aiming for one book every 4 to 5 weeks once you're established. What's more, each new book in your catalog boosts your sales of your entire back catalog. Because when you publish a new book, it trains Amazon's algorithm to promote you, which then compounds your audience growth and multiplies your income streams. When it comes to scaling your business, my advice is to not touch Facebook or Amazon ads until you have at least 3 books published. I'm serious. Without a backlist, you can't make the math work. You need read-throughs, which is readers buying multiple books of yours, in order to profit from paid traffic. Then when you're ready and you have 3 or more books published, you can start small, like with $10 a day ad budget, and target your exact genre keywords. Focus on your first book in a series and let the read-through handle profitability. Then you can scale up to $300 a day in ad spend once your catalog can support it. Here's your action plan. Mark your calendar 30 days out. That's your first launch date. Start booking newsletter swaps now because the calendars, they fill up. Set your launch price at 99 cents and block out time weekly for the next book. Momentum's everything. 1 book per month minimum once you start. And you now have the complete roadmap to building a profitable Amazon KDP business. But there are tons that I couldn't fit into this video, like the email sequences that convert cold readers into avid fans, or the scaling systems that take you from 1 book to a full publishing empire. So click the link in your description to join our free training, and I'll show you exactly how our students are consistently building 4, 5, and even 6-figure publishing businesses using this exact method.